welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today in our training webinar with the title Sunday School Interactive Workshop Session 1 Curriculum Design, Resources, and Teaching Strategies. This webinar is organized by Word International Ministries or WIN and Filipino Gospel Fellowship FGF. So let me introduce myself to everyone. My name is Mai Irong Casebre. I'm a Sunday school teacher at our church, Gospel of Christ Family Church in Novaliches. I'm also an English teacher by profession, teaching at Old Balara Community Christian School in Montalban. And I am very privileged to be your MC for today's webinar. So now we go to the much awaited part of our webinar, hearing fresh biblical insights, practical lessons, and experiences from our special guest speaker today. So now may I call on Sister Diane to kindly introduce her to us.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are proud to present to you our mentor speaker for today. She was a graduate of Bachelor of Arts in English and Master Education Language and Teaching from University of the Philippines, Diliman. She taught students and trained teachers in the ESL industry for more than 30 years. From the early 90s, our speaker continued teaching English in universities in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, University of Wollongong, Center for American Studies, Institute for Australian Studies, and American University in Dubai. Her family migrated to Canada in 1999 and settled in Mississauga, Ontario. She worked at Dufferin Peel Catholic District School Board, where she taught English and Canadian citizenship classes to new Canadians. Later on, she put up her own language school, ESL Class, Incorporated, for 14 years in Canada. She was a part of a church planting and leadership team which started 3 Filipino churches in Mississauga and Waterloo under the umbrella of the Christian and Missionary Alliance of Canada. At present, she works as admissions advisor at Anderson College in Toronto. Check out her YouTube channel, Joyful Stories, where she reads aloud storybooks for children, Miss Knows Lit, where she shares tips on improving English skills, and ang Sityo Natin podcasts. Let's welcome our mentor speaker, Sister Irene Joy Irong.
Welcome, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon to many of you. It's 2 a.m. here in Toronto. So if I fall asleep, gisingin niyo na lang ako. I got some water here and some coffee and an energy bar just in case. So, have to keep myself up throughout the session. So, are you guys ready? All right. Okay, so let me share my screen for a minute here. All right. So, let's dive in. Okay, so I have unofficially entitled this webinar as a Teach and Transform webinar because you don't only teach, you also transform. Okay, so we're gonna go straight. So what's happening is I'm gonna talk about the curricula, teaching activities, online, in-person environments, and then we'll have a breakout session, and then we're gonna go and discuss managing different age levels, managing good and challenging behaviors in the classroom, and building rapport with students. And after that, we're gonna have 20 minutes of Q&A, and then I'm gonna assign some homework. Okay, so just give me a message on the chat if I speak too fast. Okay, that's my weakness. I'm always told to Joy, slow down. So let me know if I speak too fast for you guys. And I'll be speaking in Taglish. Pag naubusan ako ng English, magtatagalog na ako. Okay, all right. So we're gonna start with the Sunday school curriculum. We have all different sizes of churches, right? So the first one is the small churches. So for the small churches, you guys have limited resources, a smaller number of students. The curriculum should be designed specifically for small groups, or should be adaptable to various age ranges. Usually, when you have a small church, you have a mixed ages in one room, and then you have a teacher and with one or two assistants. So I guess you guys will agree that it usually happens. And I'm a church planter, so a lot of church plants start this way. So isa lang yung room, and the kids are all mixed together, and all kinds of ages, because you don't have a lot of teachers available, right, for the small churches. So that's one setting. The other setting will be the medium churches. You have moderate number of students and resources. You use a curriculum that has a balance between flexibility and structure. Now you can have nursery, primary, juniors. You have like 3 classes ongoing, and you have 3 teachers with an assistant each. Of course, this is ideal, right? My church is medium church, and so we only have 3 classes. So we have nursery and toddlers. So we have the primary, grades 1 to 3, and kindergarten to 3, and then the juniors, grades 4 to 6. So that's what we have in our church right now. Okay. And for some of you guys have large churches, and of course, as a large church, you have a lot of students and resources to support your Sunday school program, right? Hopefully. Okay, you use a curriculum that provides a comprehensive scope and sequence for different age groups, and then you have grade level classes, which is amazing, right, for a lot of large churches. And of course, ideally, you have organized teaching schedule. Okay, so of course everything here is very ideal, but it will be a good guide for us. Okay, all right, so let's talk about selecting curriculum. What are the things that we need to consider? Okay, when you are choosing your curriculum, you need to consider the doctrinal alignment first. Of course, some of you guys are Baptist, some of you are Pentecostal, some of you are Alliance, and so on. So you need to choose materials that align with your doctrines. Don't just get any materials out there. You need to check if it aligns with your doctrine. That's very, very important, right? Then, of course, age appropriateness. You have to look for a curriculum or curricula that provide age-appropriate content and activities. So, kailangan akma siya sa edad ng mga bata. And then the third one is flexibility and adaptability. Access where the curriculum allows for customization and adaptation. Okay? For example, you're in Dubai. You don't choose materials that have like snow and winter, and you can't have that, right? You need to choose materials that is adaptable to where you are. Okay? And then you have here the teaching resources and support, teacher resources and support, where you can evaluate the availability of training materials, teacher guides, and ongoing support for your teachers. So, kailangan itong 4 na to. Again, the doctrine, age, flexibility, and of course, the support of the church. Okay, that's how you select a curriculum. Okay, so let's go to benefits and limitations of curriculum. So we're not going to go to the meat of this webinar, okay? So the first one is what you call the pre-designed curriculum. I made this number 1 because this is the most popular, okay? We all are busy churches, so we don't have time to plan for our lessons. So we get pre-designed curriculum. The benefits would be it's ready to use, it saves time, it provides structure, and it ensures comprehensive coverage of biblical content. So yun ang mga benefits. However, the limitations are they may not offer enough flexibility for customization, and it may not align perfectly with your church's specific needs. So medyo nababox ka ng konti, right? And there is no room for teachers to exercise creativity. Personally, when I look at pre-designed materials, there's a lot of trash out there. you need to really choose the best materials for your church. There's a lot of websites or a lot of materials that are out there that do not have quality at all. So learn to discern which one is good for you when you are choosing the pre-designed curriculum. So again, this is the most popular. There's nothing wrong with it, but it has some challenges. Okay. All right, let us go to number 2, thematic or topical curriculum. So the benefits for this is it engages students by exploring relevant topics and integrating them with biblical principles. So they often promote active learning and application of faith. So when you say thematic and topical, for example, armor of God or faith, or it's a lot of topics. So that's what you call a topical curriculum. Now, the disadvantage of that is the lessons require additional planning and preparation by teachers to ensure a cohesive connection between the themes and biblical content. So, medyo matrabaho ito because you need to make sure that you are within the topic, right? So this is what you call the thematic topical curriculum. For example, let's say I'm going to use Armor of God again, right? So you have the theme, and then pagdating ng mga bata, you're going to introduce, all kinds of armor. Some teachers would be creative and put on armor, gagawa nila ng armor, ng mga belts, ganyan. And then they sing spiritual battle songs. And then after that, you're going to look at videos about spiritual armor. So it's a lot of planning, right? So that would be a challenge on a thematic or a topical curriculum. Okay? All right. So number 3 is a Bible story-based curriculum. Okay? So Bible story, for example, beginning is creation, pagkatapos si Abraham, tapos ganito. That's Bible story-based curriculum. Okay? So the lessons focus on teaching key stories and narratives from the Bible. They help students develop a strong biblical foundation and understanding. And what's so nice about Bible story based is it encourages biblical literacy. Did you know that this generation of Christian kids have very, very low biblical literacy compared to panahon natin, right? When sometimes you talk to kids now, they don't even know where Matthew is in the Bible. Parang, oh, sino yun? They don't even know these people. And I remember one time I was mentioning Paul in a class, and one of the kids said, "Who's Paul? Is he coming here today?" So the biblical literacy is really, really low. They have no idea about the Bible. So one good thing for Bible story-based curriculum is it encourages and builds solid biblical literacy. So that's the advantage. Now, the limitation is it will require supplemental materials to cover a broader range of biblical content and teaching. So you may need to have some supplementary materials so that, to beef up your lesson plan. Okay? So that's what we call a Bible story-based curriculum. Okay, number 4, sermon-based curriculum. Now, this one is very, very ambitious, okay? We did this, I think, 15 years ago in one of our church plans. So, kung ano ang sermon ng pastor, yun din ang Sunday school. Oh, di ba? Hirap yun, right? But it was amazing because, as you can see, the benefits here, the lessons are in unity of what is being preached at the pulpit every Sunday. The parents and kids continue talking about the same biblical truths at home. Unlike sa mga ibang curriculum, maybe the pulpit, maybe the preacher will talk about, let's say he'll be talking about Revelation. Tapos yung mga bata nag-aaral ng creation, right? Ganun may disunity sometimes sa mga yung Sunday school sa nangyayari sa pulpit. But this one is a sermon-based curriculum. That means whatever that is being preached will be the same lesson that the kids will study. Now, why do I say it's ambitious? Because it's a lot of work. Okay, we had a whole team. doing this. So plus the pastor needs to plan everything ahead of time so that the Sunday school team can plan ahead what the lessons are, right? And I remember with that church plant that we had, not only was the Sunday school is synchronized with the sermon, pati yung Bible study namin, it's all synchronized, the sermon. So that's how it was talagang sobrang ano. So parang halos komunista na. Talagang ano na, lahat is the same, centralized, okay? So that's how sermon-based curriculum is. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of collaboration with the church leadership, with your pastor, with the elders, the deacons, and everyone should be involved in the planning of the lessons for the children. Okay, so this one, you need a good team. Okay, so that's the sermon-based curriculum. Okay, all right. Let's go to number 5. This one is lectionary-based curriculum. This is if you're in a Methodist church, and churches that love liturgy, they follow the lectionary based curriculum. It's aligned directly with the scripture readings designated by the liturgical calendar. So meron silang sinusundan na liturgical calendar. So that's what you call lectionary based. The challenges here is there are already predetermined passages, so you can't go either way. Okay, so the next one is character-based curriculum. So it's not about biblical characters; it's about character within you. Okay, so for example, kindness or love or respect or all kinds of character-based integrity. There's a lot of Sunday school materials that are character-based actually, and they align with Christian ethics and the teachings of Jesus. Now, the challenges are they may not extensively cover doctrinal or theological concepts, and it may be interpreted differently in other cultural contexts. So, medyo may pagka-me siya. It's about me, okay? So, ang challenge mo as a teacher is to always connect the character based on you to who Jesus is. So, that would be the challenge. Okay? And number 7, apologetics. Wow. So there's also materials about this, and this is highly recommended if you have a church that loves to defend our faith. The curriculum encourages critical thinking and engages participants in intellectual discussions about faith. And of course, it enhances the children's confidence in sharing and defending their faith. So that's a great, great benefit for children. Not only are they literate, they're also able to defend their faith. That's great, right? The challenges would be the lessons might neglect areas such as spiritual formation, character development, practical application of Christian principles, right? It's sometimes it forgets that. And they may not fully address personal experiences, existential questions, and spiritual longing. So medyo kulang siya sa emotional side, right? So that is the limitation of the apologetics curriculum. Okay, but it is a great curriculum if you want to build confidence for your children in sharing their faith. Okay. Number 7 is life application curriculum. So it encourages participants to reflect their attitudes, behaviors, and values, and prompts them to align their lives with the teachings of Scripture. And it utilizes interactive teaching methods, case studies, and real life examples. So, these examples would be how to be a good witness. So that's a life application. Or for example, how to respect your parents. It's all about how to. So that is the life application curriculum. Now, the challenge is it oversimplifies sometimes complex theological concepts or biblical passages, and it may neglect the communal aspects of the church and the broader mission of Christ's followers. It's like sermons, right? Kung ang mga sermon palaging how to, then sometimes they oversimplify theological concepts. The same thing with Sunday school. curriculum. Okay, I think this is the last one. Digital online. Okay, because of the pandemic that has happened, right? So a lot of the churches have gone digital, including mine. And even though a lot of us have gone back in person, marami pa rin namang churches who are not doing in person yet. They're still doing digital or online curriculum. So it allows individuals to engage with the content at their own pace and convenience. And what's so nice about this is you're not only reaching your church, but you're reaching a global audience, okay? So you're not limited in the four walls of your church. You actually have the potential of reaching more people, right? Kasi nga nasa cyberspace ka. However, the challenge, of course, as we all know during the pandemic, the challenge is it would be it's hard to build relationships, it's hard to foster discussion, and it's hard to have a sense of community when you're always in a digital setting. And of course, it can be prone to distraction and information overload. Okay, so I remember when I was teaching Sunday school online during pandemic, it was harder. It was harder to manage the kids because they just get up on their chairs or bigla na lang punta sa CR or whatever they wanted to do. Some of them would lie down on their beds. So it was hard. It was hard because there was a lot of distractions. Okay. So now we're gonna go to the topic Sunday school teaching activities. Okay, you guys ready? Okay, so let's talk about learning tasks and teaching activities for different age groups. Okay, this is very important because we need to know what makes this age tick. Okay, for learning. So let's talk about nursery, toddlers, 2 years and below. I don't know if you guys have this class in your church, but in my church we have it. We have a few, toddlers. It's good to use sensory activities where they can use their hands, okay? And it's good to teach simple songs, a lot of clapping and dancing and action. You use appropriate visuals such as picture books, and again, felt characters where they can again use their hands. You know, in this age, they just won't look at you. They want to use their hands, okay? So make sure, you have books that they can touch, they can hold. Hindi yung, ay, bumawa ka tong librong to. Hindi pwede yun. Hindi pwede yun sa nursery and toddlers. And of course, play-based, okay? You're not gonna lecture in a toddler class, and they have to be imaginative. Use simple short prayers. Don't pray too long, okay? By the time you open your eyes, pag mahaba, wala na sila dyan, right? So simple short prayers, and of course, they love repetition. That's the thing. Especially if they have a favorite Sunday school song. You'd probably sing it 10 times in one session with them. They love repetition. And I'm sure a lot of you who have been teaching this age group would agree with me. Okay, the next one would be the ages 3 to 8. This is my favorite age group actually. So you use engaging Bible stories using age-appropriate visual aids, puppets, storybooks. You engage children in interactive activities such as coloring, crafts, and games that reinforce the lessons. And again, they don't just sit there. You use, movements, finger plays, simple songs, again, some repetition, gestures, and so on. And you also need to do some Bible-themed scavenger hunts, charades, trivia games. They love, love, love that, okay? Especially Bible quizzes. If they're good in Bible, they love this. So you engage the children in a fun and educational way. If your class, if you have ages 3 to 8, it's not good to see them just sitting down. No, you have to be moving around, dancing, singing. So that's what they love to do. Okay, we don't want kids to be dragging their feet to their Sunday school. We want them to be excited, okay, about their Sunday school. So that's what I would suggest. Okay, the next one. Oh yeah, this is a continuation. Encourage them to share their own prayers. Okay, express gratitude and pray for others. Encourage them to share their thoughts, ask questions. It's always good to ask questions and to know where they are in their spiritual journey. And even though they're young, introduce service projects or community projects like collecting donations, making care packages, helping the needy kids, and so on. It's important to make the children aware of their community. Hindi lang kayo dun sa lesson, Bible lesson, but it's good to think, expand their minds and know that there's a larger world out there, right? Engage children in role play or dramatizing Bible stories so they can internalize the meaning. And I remember I taught a story of Abraham, entertaining some angels, guests in his tent. And so what I did was I actually got some blankets and, put up a tent. And we had like tea and so on. I made them imagine how it felt like for Abraham to be, hosting his guests in his tent. And that's one thing, you can dramatize it. It's they love dramatizing. Okay, so that's really really good for this age. All right. Okay, so now let's go to a higher age class, older, I mean. So we call it junior class. It's ages 9 to 12. This is a great age. You encourage the kids to read and reflect on scripture, ask questions and explore, and you provide discussion prompts. You challenge them with questions to apply the lessons to their own lives. And this one, I like this. They need to understand that the Bible is real. It's not a fairy tale. So how do you do that? You use chronological order of events in the Bible by creating maps and timelines. So it's good to introduce maps to the kids, like the older maps in the Bible, and then nasaan na siya ngayon? Now it used to be this, and now it's Turkey. Oh, this is and now this is Iraq. It's real. These are real places. So it opens their minds that it's not just stories in the Bible. So this is a good one. Explore common questions or challenges to Christianity and provide logical, evidence-based responses. Okay? All right. How do we engage and how do we use engaging and interactive teaching methods? So let's dive into that. So the first one, as I told you, is the storytelling and dramatization. Okay, why? Because it captures students' attention and convey biblical narratives. This is so much better than you telling the story. It's better to dramatize it with your kids, to act out and participate in dramatic retellings of the Bible stories to foster engagement. Actually, in teaching, general teaching, not just Sunday school, it stays in you for a long time when you have acted it out. When you were, kung naging skit siya, mas naaalala ng bata yun. It stays longer sa memory rather than they're gonna listen to you telling the story. Okay, another one is games and quizzes. You can incorporate educational games, quizzes, and trivia to review and reinforce key biblical concepts. You use interactive game formats such as quizzes, Bible charades, or Bible-themed scavenger hunts. So, this is really, really good. It excites them. It makes it more fun to do this, and they won't think your Sunday school class is lame. They would be excited to go and attend your Sunday school class. And of course, encourage group discussion and peer interaction. Have meaningful discussion. Break them into small groups or pairs, and then help make them discuss questions. Foster a safe and respectful environment that allows students to learn from one another. This is good for older kids. That they can talk about how they feel about a certain biblical truth. Okay, how do you feel about cheating in class? What does the Bible say about cheating? And then they can talk about it. Okay. You can divide participants into small groups for collaborative learning and assign group tasks like teamwork, problem solving, creative thinking. This promotes interaction, shared learning, and communication skills, of course. So you're not just teaching Sunday school, you're teaching life skills. You're teaching them how to negotiate, how to discuss, how to share learning. Okay, so this is a really good way. And plus, you don't have to, as a teacher, you won't do so much. You're just going to go around and make sure that they're talking to each other and it's their time to talk, right? Okay, so for you guys who are so into technology and multimedia resources, here's one for you. Okay, if you like PowerPoint, definitely use PowerPoint when you're teaching. I encourage that because it's visually more enticing than just looking at your face. Telling a story. Maganda kasi meron din sila nakikita. You know, this generation is a digital generation. So they're very visual. So the more visual, the better. And incorporate images, videos, animations, and interactive elements to reinforce key concepts. Remember, we are now in a digital world, digital age. So let's use these tools for the Lord. And you can use videos. Why not? There's so many videos on YouTube and other platforms, such as Bible-based animation, documentaries, short films, and you need to just choose the right ones for your class. There's a lot, ang daming Bible-based animation or cartoons on YouTube. And it's, you know, it's just a treasure chest of things that you can of videos that you can use for your class. Okay, and the kids love that. Utilize online Bible study tools and resources to enhance exploration of the scripture. Use websites or apps for your Bible's translation, concordances, commentaries, and study guides. If you have older kids, you introduce these tools already for them to use. Okay, don't be afraid to not use them. This one is, I just discovered this, virtual tours. I used this with my grade 4 Sunday school class because they were wondering, what is Israel? So I got my laptop and showed them 360-degree images, virtual tours. Marami yan eh. Sa mga websites, travel websites. You can also do that. That you can actually visit, do a virtual tour of a city or a place or a museum, whatever. There's a lot of virtual tours. So what I did with my class, I went to a virtual tour of Israel. So we went to Jordan River, ganyan. We went to saan ba naglakad si Jesus. So makita nila na it's true. It's not just in the book. It is actually true. Israel exists. Jews are still, the Jews are still here. So, there's a connection with the bigger world out there. Yun na importante kasi. Sometimes, when we just teach from the materials and not do some real life experiences, it just stays there. There's no impact sa buhay ng bata. And it's good for them to see na these places are real, right? Also, I've used this technique, FaceTiming or Zooming with missionaries. Oh my goodness, they love this. So allow the kids to interview missionaries through FaceTime and other platforms. This helps kids understand evangelism applied in real life situations. The missionaries can show their life and their mission work to the kids. They love this. I had a couple of missionaries that I requested if they can Zoom with us as part of our lesson, and the one is from Peru and the other one was in Taiwan. So they asked a lot of questions. The kids were just so curious about mission work, and they asked funny questions like, what do you eat? What do you do all day? Do you just read the Bible all day? They have funny questions to the missionaries, and I think it's good because they learn more about missions. They learn how to pray for your missionaries. If your churches sponsor a lot of missionaries, this is a great way to introduce missions to your kids in Sunday school. Okay, And of course, when you have older kids, you can use podcasts and audio resources. There's a lot of podcasts that are good for higher grades that they can listen, and then after that, they can give their feedback afterwards. So that is also a good uh, way to teach Sunday school. And this, of course, is the most favorite one of kids, the digital biblical games and apps. We even do this at church. In our church, sometimes we do this, digital quizzes. During our 15th anniversary, we had a quiz on our anniversary. So, there were questions like, how many years are we there now? Who were the families who started the church and things like that. So we also do it in the worship service. So all the more you can use this with the kids, digital biblical Bible games and apps. Okay. Okie dokie. So let's continue with the second half. Can you guys see this? Okay, let me just double check here. Yeah. So now we're going to talk about managing different age levels, small and large groups, managing good and challenging behaviors in the classroom, and building rapport with students. Okay. Could you guys mute yourselves? Thank you. Okay, so let's look at these very quickly. Understanding developmental characteristics of different age groups. As you can see, they have their own unique characteristics, right? So let's talk about the young ones, okay? Nursery and toddlers. The nursery and toddlers have shorter attention spans and learn through play and concrete experiences. Remember, shorter attention span. So, for example, you sing a song, don't sing another song because they're tired of that already. Go to the next activity. So they're very short attention span, and they're still working on their motor skills. So they're still working on their walking, grasping objects, scribbling. They're not there yet. So you will see them stumbling or falling. Don't worry, it's part of their developmental stage, right? Also, they understand and respond to simple instructions. Don't give complex instructions. You have to break it into simpler instructions. So you can say, okay, here's a crayon. What are we gonna do with the crayon? We're gonna color. Okay, so let's color now. So it's just simple. Don't make it complex. Focus on sensory exploration, simple and repetitive activities. Use a lot of visual aids, short and engaging lessons. You don't need to have a full length lesson with nursery and toddlers. Their attention can't take it. So you can just probably teach for 10, 15 minutes, and the rest is play. And don't feel guilty about that because that is their stage. It's no use that you try and languish in teaching and no one's listening to you anymore, right? Because they're so young. So that's okay. Just teach for a short time and then, spend time with them playing and establishing a relationship with these kids, okay? Don't feel so guilty about that part. Now let's go to primary, 3 to 8 years old. Now they have refined motor skills, they have physical coordination, they develop understanding of others' feelings. They are now, making friends with each other. They have increased independence, and they now learn how to follow rules and to work with their friends and peers, okay? They understand basic concepts of God, Jesus, and prayer. They begin to develop a personal relationship with God. So don't be afraid to talk about, having a personal relationship with God. Use stories, visual aids, hands-on activities, songs, games, and so on. Encourage participation and discussion. This group loves to sing. So, introduce songs. I still remember my Sunday school songs when I was young, and that stays with you until you get old, right? So songs are very, very powerful, a witnessing tool for the kids. Now, for the older kids, they are developing a stronger sense of identity, forming deeper friendship, increased empathy and awareness of others' perspectives, and they seek approval and recognition. This is for the older kids, the juniors.
they are now going to question their faith. They'll have a lot of questions, and don't be afraid to prompt them. Do you have any questions? I'm not an expert in the Bible, but do you have any questions? And we can explore the Bible together and find the answers together. Okay. Remember, don't pretend to be an expert, because none of us are experts in the Bible. Be honest and tell them, I don't have all the answers, but I'll try my best to answer your question. And if I don't have the answer right now, I will research for you and study the Bible and then get back to you with the right answer. Okay. And they are now going to seek personal connection with God. This is a great age to develop, a deeper relationship with the Lord. All right. Also, with the older kids, encourage independent thinking and questioning, facilitate discussions, use of multimedia resources and technology, foster a sense of community and peer interaction. There's a lot more things to do with the older kids. You have more options, more alternatives that you can use with the older kids. It's amazing working with older kids because they can now ask you questions. They can express their doubts about God, and that's okay. That's part of growing in your spiritual journey, right? Okay, so now let's go to managing good and challenging behaviors in the classroom. We all know we don't have saints in our, they don't behave like saints in our Sunday school. A lot of them are really naughty, right? So how do we manage good and bad behaviors? So the first thing is to establish clear expectations, okay? You set clear and age-appropriate behavior expectations from the beginning. Communicate this expectation to the students and discuss them as a group and ensure that they align with your Sunday school program. I always tell my teachers in Sunday school that when they come to the room, there should be nothing on the table, okay? Because when you put toys, when you put crafts, or you put whatever on the table, they're not going to listen to you. So nothing on the table first, so that their attention is on you first. And before they do anything like crafts or arts, talk about it first before you give the materials. Because when you give the materials already and then you start giving the instructions, no one's going to listen to you. They're all going to be distracted by whatever they have in their hands. Okay. All right, raise your hand. For example, you can say, raise your hand if you want to speak up. Listen when someone is talking. Use words in negotiating, not your hands. So these are sample expectations. And, sometimes you have to repeat. For example, one of them would just blurt out the answer. You can just say, what do we do? Yes, you raise your hand. Okay. And then if someone is not listening, you can tell them, what do we do when someone is talking? Yes, we have to listen, right? Okay, so let's listen to John. Okay, so things like that, you have to remind them of the expectations. The next one is create a positive classroom climate. You have to foster a positive and supportive atmosphere in the classroom. Encourage respectful communication, kindness, and empathy. So you're not just teaching Bible stories or Bible truths, you're also teaching etiquette, right? Basic etiquette and basic good manners, right? Praise and acknowledge good behavior, effort, and participation to reinforce positive actions. In the Philippines, I also grew up in the Philippines. I noticed that we Filipinos are not generous with praise, and we're not generous about that. When I came here to Canada, I noticed that a lot of these Canadians, they're so much into praise. Just a little thing that a kid does, they go, wow, that's amazing, phenomenal, that everything is just wonderful and amazing for the Canadians. That's why the children here are so confident. They're so confident about themselves. So, praise is very important. Even if, even if the worksheet or whatever the craft is not so nice, you still praise it. Oh, good job on pasting the thing. Good job in cutting the the paper. So you think of something, anything, just to praise and, to compliment the student, the child, because that really helps. Okay. So here's an example. Good job, excellent work. That's great. Wow. Okay. So let's be generous in positive words. Okay. All right. Use positive reinforcement. Of course, we all know that. Verbal praise, stickers, certificates, small rewards. Very, very, very important. You celebrate the students who show positive behaviors, like best. For example, here's some examples: best in memory verse, best in Bible drill, completed New Testament, most helpful, whatever. So whatever positive characteristic, acknowledge that, recognize that, celebrate that in your class, right? So here in Canada, they give rewards to everyone, okay? Hindi uso rito yung ranking, right? So everyone gets a medal, everyone gets a reward. So it's very, very positive. Okay, provide clear instructions. The reason why we cannot control our class is because we don't give clear instructions. So explain the activity, be clear, and break it down into smaller steps. Use visual aids, gestures to make sure that they understand, and always ask, what do we do when we do this? What's going to happen after? And then after giving the instructions, that's when you give the materials, okay? Here's an example. Let's review. Do we draw or cut the paper first? Or you can say, what do we do when we are done with the scissors? Yes, we put them back. Or you can say, oh, circle the word. Do we cross out or circle the word? So you just make sure that they understand your instructions, okay? That's how you manage your class well. Engage students actively. Plan engaging and interactive activities that capture students' attention and keep them actively involved in the lesson. Make sure that it's hands-on, okay? And there's group work is really nice, and maintain student engagement and minimize disruptive behavior. When somebody is disruptive, take that child out, okay? Do not deal with the child in the room. You have to take the child out and deal with that child in another room, because that is disrupting the class, okay? All right. So also what to avoid, please avoid lecture type teaching that has no place in Sunday school. You're not teaching college, you're teaching kids, okay? And this is my recommendation, 60-40. That means students speak 60% of the time and the teacher talk is only 40. Why? Because we want them to interact more, okay? We want the children to express themselves more so you get to know them. Do not monopolize the talk. Spoon feeding information and avoid that. Make the kids think, okay? My pet peeve is questions that ask and the answer is always Jesus, who died on the cross? Jesus. Who sacrificed for you? Jesus. And at one time there's a Sunday school teacher. What's this thing that you peel and it becomes French fries? And the kids will say Jesus. Okay, so they become robotic already. They don't care anymore what you're asking because the answer is always Jesus. So don't ask questions like that. You have to make the kids think. Ask questions that will make them think, okay? Address challenging behaviors proactively. So anticipate and address challenging behaviors before they escalate. If you know that there is a difficult child, you need to address that before it escalates, okay? Have a system for handling disruption, such as a nonverbal signal or a designated quiet corner where students can take a break to calm down. Address individual challenges privately, okay? Do not do it publicly, and with empathy, okay? Some examples here. When you want them to be quiet, you can just go like this, cross your arm. So you can say, if I do this, everyone should be quiet, or just any gestures that you like. That then you can even ask them, what gesture would you like? Oh, you want this? Okay, we'll do this. If everybody does this, everybody should be quiet. Okay. Or you can say, fly with wings. So when I do this, that means you have to go to your seats. You have to fly to your seats. Okay. And you can have a visual quiet corner. So you can assign, for example, a pink chair. So that pink chair, if you don't like to join, or if you feel like you don't want to participate, you can sit in that chair, okay, and just calm down. Or you can also put students that are problematic. You can put them in that chair. Just be quiet and come and join us when you're ready, okay. Or it can be a blue door or a green door or whatever, because that's the room for them to calm down and for you to talk to them. Okay. So please don't, don't get mad at a child publicly in front of all the other kids. Okay. Please do it privately. Maintain consistency. Be consistent in enforcing rules and consequences. Make sure the consequences for disruptive behavior are fair, consistent, and proportionate to the situation. Follow through with predetermined consequences consistently to establish clear boundaries. Now, this is difficult in many churches because we change teachers all the time, right? That's why we need to be consistent. We need to have a meeting, maybe monthly, and make sure that our rules are the same, because they don't want to go, oh, it's teacher Susan, oh, she's very strict. Oh, teacher Elaine, oh, she's okay, we can be noisy. It's not consistent. So it's important that you guys are consistent in Sunday school discipline. Okay. Establish consistent routines. Did you know that children love routines? If there is no routine, that's when they misbehave, okay? So develop predictable routines for starting and ending each class, transitioning, and managing materials. Consistency helps create a sense of structure and security for students, with parents and guardians to address challenging behaviors and seek their input and support. And this is not only in Sunday school. When you have kids, your own kids at home, if there are no routines, it's going to be messy. Okay? It's very hard to discipline kids if there's no routine at home. Okay? So same thing in Sunday school. So, for example, of a routine, you welcome the kids, you have an opening prayer, then you sing songs, then you have fun activity, then you have Bible lesson, and what follows is crafts, closing prayer, and then cleanup. So, as a team of teachers, you need to agree what is our routine. So, okay, so that has to be consistent. This is very important. Communicate with parents and guardians. A lot of teachers forget about this. After teaching, you don't care anymore. Okay, my thing is done. My job is done. I'm going to go home. No. Maintain open lines of communication with parents or guardians. Talk to the teacher, talk to the parents. I'm sorry. And, be specific. You can say, Mrs. Lim, I love how your child sings songs, and he shared about his pet dog today. Be specific about sharing with the parents. Collaborate with parents. Some of them can help you in Sunday school. So make sure that you also have teamwork with parents. Okay. This is the last topic, building rapport with students in Sunday school. Okay, so be welcoming and approachable. Make sure you greet each child with a warm smile and a friendly attitude. Make them feel comfortable and valued right from the beginning. The first 5 minutes is very important. Okay, that's it spells the rest of your your Sunday school time with them. If you're not welcoming, then it won't be good. Okay, the children should always be looking forward to their Sunday school time. Learn and use their names. Okay, This is my weakness. I always forget names, but that's not good. Use their names, remember their names. Take time to learn names. If they have nicknames, that's even better. So address them by their name. Don't say, "Psst, ikaw, psst, ikaw." No, not like that, right? So use their names. They love to hear their names, right? You love to hear your name, so they do too. Be a good listener. Show genuine interest in what the children have to say. Listen attentively to their stories, thoughts, and questions. And I remember one of the young kids that I used to teach, it was Christmas, and he said, "Oh, you said Jesus was born 2,000 years ago. So that means 2,000 candles on his cake?" And it was a legitimate question. And I tried not to laugh. And I said, "Yeah, that's how many the candles are. Can you imagine?" So, there are questions there are no stupid questions. You have to validate questions like that, right? Show interest in what they say. Be a fun teacher. So use interactive, engaging teaching methods, incorporate games, crafts, songs, and storytelling to make the learning experience enjoyable. For most of the churches, Sunday school is only an hour. In my church, it's only 45 minutes because we only have Sunday school during sermon time. So, those minutes, make it fun for the children. Okay. So, don't make it like something that they don't want to go to. So it's something that they look forward. They can't wait to go to Sunday school. That should be the feeling that they have. Incorporate their interests. Take an interest in the children's hobbies, passions, and activities outside of Sunday school. Incorporate elements that are related to their interests. I'm going to share with you, there was one child, and he was grade 4, and he was new in the church, and he was always using the F word. He was swearing all the time, and I didn't know what to do. And I said, "Lord, what are we going to do with this kid? Everybody's hearing bad words, right?" So I sat down with him and I said, "Oh, what kind of things, what hobbies do you have?" And he said, "Oh, I love to play the guitar." I'm like, "Oh, great. Bring your guitar next time." And he did, and he sang, and, he showed his talent, and he felt welcome. And I noticed that since I started doing that, his bad words started to decrease without me telling him, "Oi, don't say bad words, no." I didn't, it just started to decrease because I was starting to make him feel more belonging to the group. And I have recognized his talent, his gifts. That was okay. Show respect and empathy. Treat each child with respect and empathy. Be patient, understanding, and supportive. I remember it was Father's Day, and we had kids in our church who didn't have fathers. Divorced, or maybe who died or whatever. They didn't have fathers. So it was a very difficult topic because we were following a topical curriculum, and it was a Father's Day topic. So let's show empathy. So I had to empathize with these fatherless kids and told them that, you have a Father in heaven that loves you very, very much, because they've had dads who have abandoned them, and, they don't have any inkling what a father is. So that, that's one way of showing empathy, by telling them that there is a heavenly Father. And you have a lot of dads here at church. So yeah, be sensitive, for Father's Day, Mother's Day. Not everybody has great moms and dads, or not everybody have mother and father together. Some of them are separated, some are widows, some are widowers. So we have to be careful and be sensitive. I already said this, use positive reinforcement, praise and acknowledge children's efforts, achievements, and good behavior. Okay. Always, if a child shows a negative characteristic, find a positive characteristic and focus on that, not the negative. Okay. So that's how you do it. And build trust. Establish trust is crucial for building rapport. Keep your promises, maintain confidentiality, and be reliable. If you say, oh, okay, if you memorize this memory verse, you're going to get a chocolate. And then you don't have the chocolate. So that's not good. Okay? You have to keep your promises. And I remember, connect with parents. I already said that. Develop a positive relationship with the parents. Communicate regularly. Provide updates. Even more so if the parents do not go to church. Okay. If it's only just the kids, this is a great time to connect with the parents. Okay. You know, DVBS is also a good tool because you can go to the community, have a VBS, and then you connect with the parents. All right. Thank you so much. That's it. And now I'm opening the floor for Q&A.